Who is Beck? Who is Robbie and Andre? And what do all these characters in Victorious have in common? In this video, we'll take a look at the episode of Victorious that connects us, the audience, with the very essence of the show and its characters. Before I continue, could you please take a moment to subscribe, as a minority of the viewers of this channel are subscribed. If you enjoy the content, the best way to support me is to hit that button. But without further ado, let's jump straight back in. The episode in question, I believe, is one of the most well-written episodes of Victorious, and the episode is called The Bird Scene, which is episode 2 of season 1. The episode starts as if it was right after the pilot. I made a video covering the conflict in the pilot between Jade and Tori, and you can watch that video for more detail, but that episode introduced us to Tori, our main character, and we got to see how she met the other characters and her relationship to them, as well as we get to see Tori go through a major test. In the bird scene, we go a step further, a greater test, and she has to do it all alone this time, as the number one rule of the bird scene is no one is allowed to help you. And even us, the audience, are completely ostracized from what is going on as well. We feel Tori here on a deeper level. There is no dramatic irony. We can expand on Tori's challenge and why it's so important to the show momentarily, but first, we can explore what we learn about our other characters during the course of this episode. The show used a brilliant visual tool to help us connect with our characters on a deeper level. One of the traditions at Hollywood Arts is that every student decorates their locker in a way that represents themselves. Tori struggles throughout the episode to figure out what to do with her locker, but in the meantime we get to see the lockers of some of our other characters, and in turn we get to immediately connect more with those characters and gain a deeper understanding of who they are. Seeing Sinjin's locker was a confirmation about him being a complete weirdo. He decorated his locker with hardened food regurgitations. Andre had a working piano on his locker, further establishing that yes, Andre is obsessed with music. Robbie has a locker that comforts him and reminds him of the past, a locker with a bunch of bottle nipples from his childhood glued on. But again, we as the audience learn that this guy is a bit weird, especially since he has a puppet Rex with a locker as well that follows kind of a tough street guy look. But perhaps the most creative one we see is Beck's, a transparent locker signifying that he has nothing to hide. He is fully transparent and relaxed. I have a video where I rank all the lockers if you want to hear me talk about them in more detail, but Tori has absolutely no idea what to do with her locker. She lacks something that the other students have. We'll get to that soon, but one of her first attempts at decorating her locker is just putting a whiteboard up so that the other students can decorate it. Disappointment comes towards Tori as her new friends tell her that that is just lazy. Tori just can't figure out what to do to represent herself, almost as if she has no personality. Or is it something else that she's missing? Foreshadowing. But no, lockers were an effective way to introduce us to all these big personalities, but the episode doesn't stop there. Throughout the episode, we see all of our characters showing who they are in bright and red. Some examples of this are Andre and Robbie signing up for ballet just to be around girls all semester, or Psychoid's mother telling people that he has died, or Beck and Jade take salsa dancing together. And Tori will do things to succeed, not all good, such as manipulate Robbie to get information from him, or handcuff Kat for the same reason. However, we didn't see her do the same to Beck. It's almost as if she sees him differently in some way. This episode, however, is connected to something much bigger, a greater challenge for Tori within the episode, the bird scene, which is our main focus for this episode. A true artist takes no notice of the public whatsoever. Oscar Wilde. The bird scene is somewhat random and a short scene out of a play. New students in Psychoid's class must perform this scene in front of the class successfully in order to participate in school plays. Tori is committed to passing the bird scene as she would like to be in a play, but she tries and fails several times, each time upping her performance. It must be painful for the students watching her, like her friend Andre, not to tell her why she's failing, but Psychoid's must be a really good teacher to have such loyal students. So then, now we get to the main point of the episode. What does everyone else have in Psychoid's class that Tori lacks? Is it experience, skill, looks, pronunciation? What is it? Well, it's something that the show makes good use of in the first episode. Tori, at this point, does not believe in her own performances. She does not have the confidence, and in Psychoid's eyes, that is the key, or at least the requirement for entry into acting and performance. Word for word, Psychoid says to Tori, We are artists, and a true artist doesn't define success based on approval from others. A true artist need only please himself. Honestly, that's one of the best quotes I've heard, and the best line from Psychowitz in the show in my eyes. I believe it is inspired by the things said by Oscar Wilde, but that's just speculation. So it turns out all Tori needed to do is believe in her performance, not question or ask how she did. It didn't really matter how good the acting or the props were. After this episode, we never see Tori doubt herself again, or at least not in her performances. Tori's confidence is full circle symbolized by showing off her new locker design, showing that she's figured out what she wants to represent and who she is at this school. I hope you enjoyed this look at how Victorious indirectly introduced us to our favorite characters and activated Tori. I've already done a few videos on the second episode of Victorious, like the locker video for example, but there are still more things here which I could talk about. Such a pivotal and content-rich episode of the show, but again, another time. For now, make sure you're subscribed and I'll see you soon.
Suddenly I can see what I did before, and I